Hi friends, welcome back to our channel. This is Stacey. I'm so glad you're here and I'm very excited to share today's video with you where I am filming yet another book unhaul. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into the video. Around this channel for a little bit and you've been watching our most recent videos, you're probably a little bit confused about why I'm filming another unhaul, because we literally just uploaded one like a month ago. I'll link it up here if you missed it and you want to watch it. So yeah, if you're confused about why we're filming another unhaul, well, I'm here to tell you that Steph and I, you guys know we've mentioned it so many times on this channel, we have such a huge physical TBR that we've just accumulated over years and years of reading and being book lovers and buying books, and our physical TBR behind us is just so big that it's just gotten to the point of being very overwhelming for us. In the past, we used to love having a big physical TBR because it's fun, because you can shop your shelves and you always have something to read. You don't have to go buy a new book every time you need to read something. It's really cool. You can just shop your own shelves, treat it like a library or a bookstore, right? So we used to think that way, but our mindset has shifted. Now we just feel like owning such a big physical TBR is just really overwhelming, because it makes picking out our next book kind of difficult, because you just have too many choices, if that makes sense. So yeah, we were really trying to diminish our physical TBR this year, just so we aren't as overwhelmed, and so we can really make easy decisions when we're trying to pick out what to read next. And as a reader, your taste does change and evolve over the years. Our reading tastes have changed quite a bit, so we do have a lot of books that we purchased many years ago that we were interested in at that time, but we're just no longer interested in. So why hold on to them if we're not going to read them at this point? We've lost interest. There's no point in having them take up space on our shelves, right? So yeah, and we can justify getting rid of the books because most of these, like I said, were purchased many years ago. And so we don't really feel guilty about kind of wasting money because we bought them so long ago. It's not like they're all new releases that we just purchased. These are books we've had for a long time. So we don't feel too bad about getting rid of them. So that is why we're doing another unhaul. We just feel like we have more books to get rid of since we filmed our last unhaul video. And all of these will be going to good homes. You guys know we love little free libraries. So we will be donating these books for somebody else to enjoy. So that is kind of the reason behind this unhaul. We're just making so much more space on our shelves for new books because we also do want to read new releases too. And when you have such a big physical TBR like us, we tend to kind of feel guilty buying new books because we just have so many to read. And we do want to read new releases. New releases are really fun, especially from our favorite authors. So we just don't want to feel guilty anymore about buying new books and feeling like we're neglecting the books that we already have. So that is the reason for this unhauled today. And I'm going to show you the books that we are unhauling today. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. All right, so the first book that we are unhauling, this is called Song of the Six Realms. This is actually an ARC. If you guys are new here, Steph actually works at a bookstore, so she gets ARCs all the time. Every week they get new ARCs in that they get to take. So she does sometimes take the ARCs. She's not taking them anymore because we just have so many now. But this is one of the ARCs that she took, and she hasn't read this yet. The reason she's actually getting rid of it is because she actually bought the finished copy, since I believe this one already came out at this point. So she just decided to get the finished copy, so we just don't need the ARC anymore, but I know she's looking forward to reading this. It has a really nice cover. The next book we're getting rid of, I believe we found this, I think Steph got this at work because they can also take damaged copies of books that they can't sell, so they get to take them. So I think that's how she got this one. This is A Discovery of Witches, and I don't think Steph wants to read this one. She got this one for more for me. I love witch-related books. I know this is a series. It's also like a TV show. And the reason I'm getting rid of this is because I actually bought the Kindle version on my Kindle Paperwhite recently because it was like really cheap. Kindle does really good deals. So I bought it on Kindle, so I'm just going to read it on my Kindle instead because it's super chunky. Like, I think this is over 500 pages, and you guys know I don't really like reading chunky books physically. I would rather read them on my Kindle digitally. They're just easier to hold. Like, it's just super chunky. So I'm getting rid of this one because I bought the Kindle version instead. So I will not be reading this copy. The next one we're getting rid of is another ARC. This is the Rule Book by Sarah Adams. I was kind of like torn about whether to get rid of this one or not. But I think we are going to get rid of it because, first of all, the book's already come out. The book came out April 2nd, and I'm filming this in May, so the book's already been out. So, you know, I feel like ARCs are just more fun to read before the book comes out. You know, reading ARCs after the book comes out to me is just kind of pointless because, like, I could just get the finished copy, you know? But Steph also got this one at work, since she gets ARCs. And neither of us have read Sarah Adams yet. If you can believe it, her books are on my TBR for like right now, like the springtime. So I'm hoping to get into her books very, very soon. But we're getting rid of this because we feel like we don't need it right now. Because we haven't read any of Sarah Adams' books yet, and we want to read her backlist in order. And I think this is a companion to the cheat sheet, which we haven't read. So yeah, we just want to read her books in order. So we won't be needing this one for a long time, and I'll probably just borrow it from the library since Libby has it, or I'll just get the finished copy later on, but we just don't feel like we need it right now since we won't be reading it for a long time, so we just don't want to have it sitting on our shelves. But I love the cover. We're very excited to read Sarah Adams' books very, very soon, but yeah, we're just getting rid of this art copy, and then we'll buy like the finished copy later on when we're actually ready to read it. The next one we're getting rid of is the Kindred Spirits Supper Club. I absolutely love this cover. It's so cute. I got this in the bargain section at Books A Million. It was like $5. I took off the sticker, so it's not there anymore, but I actually read this a couple months ago. I want to say like in the winter or like early spring, and I actually really, really enjoyed this. I forgot if I gave it a 4 or a 5 star. But I really enjoyed this. It's a really fun, like, adult romance. And there's some kind of, like, magical realism elements or something. Like, there's, like, a ghost in it. It's a really fun read. So I really enjoyed this. So I kept the copy for Steph in case she wanted to read it. But I just don't think it's, like, a priority for her right now. We're trying to, like I said, only keep books that, like, we want to read very, very soon. And not have them sitting on our shelves for a while. So I read this and loved it. But I don't think Steph's going to read it anytime soon. So yeah, we're just going to get rid of it. And then if she wants to read it later on, she could. The next one we're getting rid of, this is also an adult romance. This is called Accidentally Engaged. And I think Steph got this. I forget where. But it's like a fake engagement, fake dating book. And neither of us have read it. I think we both just kind of lost interest because Steph has had this for so many years unread on the shelf. So we're just kind of like not interested in it anymore, and the characters are Muslim, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, we're Christians, so I just don't really have a lot of interest in reading books with Muslim characters. Like, that's just the way that we are. So I'm sure it's a really cute book. If you love fake dating, I would check it out, and like Muslim culture, but yeah, just not for us. We've just had it for a long time. We've never read it, so I think it's time to just give it a new home. The next one is another adult romance. This is called Love Scenes. I got this at Books A Million in the bargain section. You can see the sticker. I actually read this, I want to say last year, 2023, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's an adult romance around like a film set. It kind of has the like Waiting for Tom Hanks vibe, if you read that book, which I loved. So I read this one. I really enjoyed it. I forget. It was either a 4 or 5 star read for me. So I just held on to it for Steph to read it. And she just hasn't gotten around to it, and I just think, like, again, it's not a priority for her right now. She has so many other romance books she wants to read first, so we're just going to get rid of this, give it a new home, and then if she wants to read it later on, then we'll just repurpose it. But it's just not a priority for her right now, but I highly recommend this if you like adult romance around like filming and everything. I really enjoyed this one a lot, and I've never seen anybody talk about it. It's a really cute adult romance. So yeah, I highly recommend it, but we're just gonna get rid of it right now. The next one we're getting rid of, I think it's like a series of 2 books. So I think these go together. Steph bought these. We have First Love Take 2 and The Trouble with Hating You. So these are from the same author. I'm pretty sure that they're like in a series together or companions. Steph bought these really cheap. You could see from the Books A Million. And I don't really know what these are about. I want to say they're like Indian romances or something, but again, we've just had these for a very long time and never gotten around to reading them. So they're not a priority for us, so we're just going to get rid of these and give them a new home as well. The next book is another adult romance. We were really trying to clean out our romance genre because that is like the genre we have the most books for, since you guys know we love romance. So a lot of these, most of them are romance because we're just really trying to clear out that part of our bookshelves. So the next one I have, this is Intercepted by Alexa Martin. I actually read this a year or 2 ago and I absolutely loved it. It's so good. It's an adult sports romance in the football world, in the NFL. And I absolutely love this book. I feel like it's very underrated. If you like adult sports romances, definitely check this out. This is actually the first book in a series, and I have not read any of the other books yet in the series or by this author, Alexa Martin, but I would actually have chatted with her a few times on Instagram, and she is just so nice. So I absolutely love this, and I really do want to continue the series. They're all sports romances. And I want to read her other books too. She has like other standalone books, but I already read this and loved it. So again, Steph actually bought it before I read it, and like she just never got around to it. So I read it and loved it, and I saved it for her, but she's just getting rid of it. She hasn't read it because again, she said that like it's not a priority, and she's not really a big sports romance reader. She doesn't read them very often, so she just doesn't feel like she needs to keep this right now. I feel like I'm more of the sports romance reader than she is, so I love this. I highly recommend it. If you like a football sports romance, I really want to continue the series, and we don't own the other books, so I'll probably get them from the library, but I love this and highly recommend it. But yeah, Steph is just not a big sports romance fan, and she doesn't think she's going to get to this anytime soon, so we are just going to get rid of it. Next, we have another adult romance. You might be surprised to see this one. This is Very Sincerely Yours by Carrie Winfrey. We also got this in the bargain section at Books A Million for $5. And neither of us have read this one yet. We both love Carrie Winfrey. We both read Waiting for Tom Hanks from her and absolutely loved it. So this is like her newest book, I believe. So we got it in the bargain section because it was cheap. But we're getting rid of this. Neither of us have read it because, I don't know, again, it's just like not a priority. And for like romance authors, I don't know about you guys, but Steph and I like to read their backlist like in order. So like this is her newest book, and we have like her other older books to read after Waiting for Tom Hanks. So we kind of just want to read like her backlist in order, if that makes sense. And yeah, it's kind of like the You've Got Mail plot, I believe. And yeah, we're just not like in a hurry to read a book with this plot right now, so I'll probably get it later on, like on Kindle or something, or borrow it from the library. It's just a book that we don't feel we need right now because we're not going to be reading it anytime soon, because we really want to read the other books in her backlist first, if that makes sense. So we're just going to get rid of this and free up some space on our shelves. The next 2 books, I don't know if these are YA or adult. I want to say they're adult, but Steph bought these, and I think they're in a series together. So this is called Men Are Frogs, and this is called Fairy Godmothers Inc. I don't know what these are about. I want to say they're kind of like fairy tale retellings or something. Steph bought these, and yeah, I just think she lost interest in them. She's had them for a very long time. Again, our reading taste has changed over the years, so haven't gotten to these, so we just don't think we will at this point. We have so many other books we want to prioritize. So yeah, we figured we'll just give these a new home as well. This one I think Steph is still kind of on the fence about, but she's thinking about getting rid of it, so I'm just going to show it anyways. This one is called Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet. Again, I don't know what this is about. I think it's adult romance or women's fiction. I think it's about like a girl whose parents own like a Mexican restaurant and she wants to open up her own restaurant or something like that. But Steph bought this one. It's a brand new hardcover. And she's just like on the fence about it. She's not sure if she wants to read it or not. So we're just including it in this unhaul. But nothing against it. She's just like not sure again if she's still interested in this one or not. So this one may stay on the shelf or we may get rid of it. She's still deciding, but I figured I would include it in this video anyways, in case she does get rid of it. The next book we have is Roomies by Christina Lauren. You guys know Christina Lauren are like some of our all-time favorite romance authors. We absolutely love all of their books. We've read many books from them. We highly recommend checking them out if you're interested. They write really good adult romance. I'm sure you know who they are. And we have both read this. This is Roomies. I feel like this is one of their underrated ones. It's like super old from them. We both read this one and loved it. I think we both gave it 5 stars, and so there's nothing wrong with it. We love this book. It's a really good kind of like marriage of convenience, if you will, story. Highly recommend it. We're just getting rid of it because we don't really reread books very often. Pretty much never. So even when we love books, sometimes we just don't really feel the need to hold on to them forever if we don't plan on rereading it. So this is just one of those books that like we both read, absolutely loved it, but we just don't think we will read it again. So we just don't really need it taking up space on the shelf. So we are getting rid of it, but highly, highly recommend this one. Highly recommend all of Christina Lauren's books. We love all of the ones we've read so far, but this was a really good book. We just don't need it anymore. We're not going to read it again, so we are just going to get rid of it. And then this one is really special actually because you guys know Steph is actually a freelance book editor and proofreader. So she has her own editing clients who she edits books for and everything. So she actually worked on this book and then the author sent her a finished copy. So this is called Mail Order Opt Out. And yeah, so Steph actually edited this book, which is super cool. It's a nice little short romance. I haven't read it. I probably should have read it since Steph worked on it. But yeah, her client sent it to her since she actually edited it, which is really cool. But obviously Steph already read this because she worked on it. And I just don't see myself getting to it anytime soon, even though the cover is really cute. So we're just going to give it a new home since we just don't really need it in our collection. And then there's 2 other books that I think Steph is thinking about getting rid of, so I will show them to you. First one, I don't know what this is. I think she got this from work. Oh, this is an ARC. So this looks like a middle grade ARC. It comes out in September. That Steph got at work. This is called Impossible Creatures. Looks really cool, like a fantasy dragon book. And yeah, I think she's just kind of like on the fence about it. So she may or may not get rid of it, but it just looks like a cute, like middle grade chapter book. Something with dragons. So I think Steph's gonna get rid of this one. Because I don't think she's gonna end up reading it. And then this one as well. We actually just found this in a little free library. And this is actually a book of the month hardcover, which is cool. So this book is called Maid. And Steph actually got this one from the little free library. Like it's like a brand new book of the month hardcover. And I think she was initially interested. But I don't think she like wants to read it anymore. Sometimes we'll take things from little free libraries like impulsively. And then later on we'll be like, actually look at the book. And then be like, okay, like this doesn't interest me at all. Does that happen to anybody else or just us? Sometimes we're impulsive when we see books. We get so excited and then we figure out later on that we don't even want to read them. So I think that's how she is with this. She might read it. I don't know if she's going to. She's kind of like on the fence. It's not really our kind of book. It's like very like political, if you will. You guys know we don't really read books that are like government, political. It's not really our thing. We're more like fiction readers, and then I like to read like personal development, self-help. So we're not really a fan of like political books like this. So I'm not sure exactly what she's going to do with it, but I'm pretty sure she's thinking about getting rid of it. So those are all the books I am going to hold up and show you. But we have a huge box here. This is kind of embarrassing. But I'm going to show it to you anyways. We have this huge box on the floor of vintage historical romance books because Steph ordered this whole box of vintage historical romances on eBay for like super cheap because there was a time when she was like obsessed with historical romance and she still loves it. We both do, but we don't read it all the time and we have so many other ones to read. So we don't really need these in our possession anymore. We don't have space for them. We actually stored them in our closet because we didn't have room for them on the shelves and we were kind of on the fence about whether we want to keep them or not, but I'll just show you a few of them by hand so you can see what I'm talking about. So these are two of them. They're really cool. Steph bought them because, you know, she was interested in reading them because these are vintage historicals. Like, you can't find these. They're rare. So she got, like I said, a huge box of them, and she was going to read them, but she hasn't touched them, and after she actually looked through them, she kind of figured out that she, like, wasn't really interested anymore. But they have really pretty covers, cool pages, but they're just like super old vintage historical romances, so we just don't need them. We have so many other ones already that we own that are newer, so I think we're just gonna get rid of the entire box. There's so many. I'll show you in the clip, but these are two of them. But we love historical romance. Nothing against the genre, we just don't need these. But that is our big book unhaul. Again, we just filmed one of these, I know, but I've already explained it in the beginning of why we're getting rid of more books. But now our shelves just look so much better. It's just such a good feeling to purge and get rid of things. I've mentioned before, I'm more of like a minimalist as I get older. I just don't want to own as many things. So now our bookshelves are just so much more organized. We have so much more space. They're not as cluttered. So it just feels really, really good. So we will be donating all of these books, giving them new homes, probably donating them to little free libraries. So we'll probably do a little free library vlog again. So stay tuned. But that is it for this unhaul. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in a comment below if you have read any of these books and let me know your thoughts, or let me know if you have unhauled any books lately. What are they? But it just feels really good. I love sharing these kind of videos with you. We share more unhauls than book hauls because, you know, we have such a big TBR. We're trying not to buy books right now and just read what we have. We have a whole series of reading vlogs where we're reading through our TBRs. I'll link it above. Make sure to go check out those videos. Super fun to film, but we're just trying to really focus on what we have and then buy new releases here and there. But it just feels so good to get rid of all these books. So thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our channel below, and we'll see you soon in our next video. Bye.
Oh, I can just see her, so beautiful and sweet, with her hair and her actions more